Okay, so I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, because I've been reading every single new Weekly Shonen Jump manga since 2019. I've grown a bit burned out of especially battle shonens. Add that to the fact that I'm a bit sick right now, and I just really did not feel like reading the new chapter and making this video. Sometimes you just don't. However, I have never ever missed a first thoughts video, so I don't want to stop now. So I said, you know, whatever, let's just check out Kaedegami, and I gotta say, it was pretty good, man. So, you know, let's talk about it. This manga reminded me a lot of Ichi the Witch in its introductory pages, as it too starts with a boy called Ko, who lives in the woods near a village all alone, in a world that has supernatural monsters, this one being Shingai, warranted by Shingai hunters. But as the chapter evolves, the similarities do start to dissipate. We found out that Ko does not actually live alone in the woods, but instead he lives with an actual Shingai, a woman named Chiyo. They both met after Ko's father abandoned him in the woods, and the Shingai seem to have actually taken a liking into Ko and helped him survive and keep him company throughout all of these years. According to her, that's because she doesn't actually feel like being alone herself. Their relationship has been great ever since, but Ko does worry about one thing. Because she's wearing a mask at all times, he has never seen her face, even after all these years. Actually, he has never even seen her eat. Put that together with the fact that she doesn't really talk about her past much, and despite being great friends for years, Ko doesn't really know much about her. That starts to change one day when a Shingai actually attacks both of them in the woods, and he tells Ko that he is Shio's thrall. Shio is a god Shingai. We don't know exactly what that is. Actually, we don't know a lot about the lore of this manga, but we'll talk about that later in this video. Shio is specifically the god of war, and she lost her entire body. What we see of her does not seem to physically exist. And when the Shingai removes her mask, we are greeted with no face at all, but instead a deep bloody hole that crosses her entire head. Her goal then is to recover all of her body parts, which includes the head, which is currently in the possession of the Shingai that is attacking them. But she needs to possess a host, a body of some sorts, to regain enough power to actually fight and recover her own body parts. And she does let Ko know that, yeah, she actually planned to possess him when they first met, but since then she has actually grown fond of him. Still, Ko wants her head back and wants to fight with her to help regain her body parts, so they make a temporary possession, kill the Shingai, and finally they are able to look each other in the eyes. It was a really good moment there towards the end, and it was there that I noticed that Jun Arukawa, the mangaka, just how much he actually made me care for these two in such a limited time. Obviously, I think the moment where they show her face for the first time is impactful because we know how important that was to Ko, because he wanted to be able to see her and see her smile and her emotions and have a meal with her and just be able to have this next level connection with her that hasn't been able to have throughout all of these years because it has been blocked by her mask. But the mangaka also takes time to properly show their relationship throughout the years, to show moments where they help and care for each other, together with moments where they're teasing or having fun or just chilling together. He's able to create a connection between these two characters that feels genuine and real, and it tells you without a doubt that these two characters really care about each other. Not even necessarily in a romantic way, actually probably more of a parental way. And I think it's exceptionally hard to create a relationship like that. That is as good as it is here in such a little amount of time, especially having in mind you also have to dedicate this time to probably establish the world, the monsters, the rules, the power systems, and to have a proper battle all within one chapter. The duo actually reminds me a lot of the Fabric and 100 main duo, which I thought was really a great duo and probably the reason why I enjoyed that manga as much as I did. It should be of note that mangaka was actually an assistant of Fabric and 100, so there was definitely an influence of that manga and of that mangaka in this work as well. And one of the things I really like about Fabricant 100 was this unease between the main duo. The fact that she was part of the enemy and a creature that would want to kill our main character. And despite the fact that both characters clearly cared about each other, there was still this unspoken fear between them that I thought was really well done. I don't necessarily think that the same level of unease will work in the duo in Kaedegami, but having in mind that Chio was not only going to possess Ko, but actually technically did possess him and is using him to recover her body parts was actually her plan all along at the beginning. And the fact that she's one of the characters that they are hunting, like she's one of the enemies, she's a Shingai, it's something I want to see being tackled in a manga going forward. Now, personally, I actually would really loved for the moment where they recovered her face to be the end goal, to be the last part or the last body part that she recovers. I think this moment was good with all the build-up, but I think it would be so much better as the climax of the entire series. Sure, it will lead to, I think, a worse chapter 1 overall, but I think it will be a good trade-off nonetheless. That's kind of like a bit of a nitpick, but it is legitimately the only bad thing I have to say about the manga for me. However, when it comes to the age-old question of will it survive, that's where I think the biggest problem right now with the manga arises. Remember when I said it was impressive that the manga had such a good relationship when it also had to do all the battle shonen in it? Well, not to downplay the writing of the manga, but the mangaka is only able to do this because he, in fact, actually just neglects all of the battle shonen elements of this series, at least in this first chapter. Lore-wise, I think it barely scratched the surface of the manga. At one point, we both learned the terms of God Shingai and Shingai Hunter, and we get zero explanations or follow-ups to those name drops. But to me, the biggest thing is the whole possession thing. We don't understand at all how it works, and even how it differs from a full-on possession. Like, does it have any drawbacks compared to that? And the possession itself, there's barely any indication, like visually, of any transformation. There's actually no perceived power gained or anything. Sure, he's probably faster and stronger, but or did he gain any actual power? We don't know, and I think that's pretty underwhelming as the showcase for your main character's fighting form. And the battle itself was really just a double spread, and don't get me wrong, it's beautiful double spread. The art of this manga is just gorgeous, but it does give you zero indications of the author's ability to actually draw a fight, like the paneling, the choreography, power system. There's just nothing in here. Now, as someone who did start this video saying that I'm a bit burnt out of all the battle shonens, I am okay with this trade-off. It's a breath of fresh air, and I am someone who likes character-driven stories above all else, so I am 100% invested in the story right now. It's just that, one, I'm probably not the majority of the audience of series like this, and that could actively harm the popularity and overall success of Kaedegami, and two, these are not necessarily optional things. At one point or another, you're going to have to focus on the battles in your battle-focused manga. And right now, I am afraid of the quality of the manga when that time does come. Don't get me wrong, it can totally turn out that the mangaka is actually great at it, and the story is amazing and everyone loves it, but it can also not. It reminds me a little bit of a batch a couple years ago where I enjoyed both chapter 1s, but recognized that they really failed at establishing how respective manga would go moving forward. One of them was Earthchild, which had like this amazing closed story, but then, as you may have heard, was this incredible mess moving forward. Probably overall one of the worst Jump manga that I've actually read. and the other was Akane Banashi. We introduced this main character in the story just to reveal that the main character of the manga itself was someone else altogether. And the actual main character, Akane, turned out to be amazing, and the manga is still thriving to this day and gets lots of praise pretty much every week. You never know, but that scares me because clearly this manga does something really well, and it's something that I really enjoy. So I hope it survives, but well, we'll have to wait and see. And that's all for this manga, but I do this for every single new Weekly Shonen Jump series, so click on the subscribe button if you want to see more. On your left, in the screen, not your physical left, is a playlist of all the videos that I've done in this series, and if you watched it till here, thank you very much, and I'll see you next video.